Hello friends, this is Silver from EggFeathers Homestead. I finally got around to getting the camera set up and I thought I'd bring you along to make some lilac jelly with me tonight. I've recently been making flower jellies for the first time actually. I have no idea why I took so long to do this. My good friend Heidi has been making violet jelly for years and I thought, why not do it myself? I just happen to have an abundance of violets in our local parks to go pick, and right here in our yard we have more dandelions than you can even count. So I learned that it takes a very long time to get enough flowers to make a jelly, and it made me really appreciate what goes into it. So I apologize, I should have brought you along for the whole process, but I have already picked my lilacs off the bush, and our season is actually really short. My bush is completely done. But what I did is I just gathered a bunch of flower bunches, and I sat down, I put on Netflix, and I used my thumbnail, and I just pinched off the individual flowers because you're not supposed to have the green stems on them. I didn't stress out too much about it. Quite frankly, I'm not that worried about it. I don't think a few stems are going to hurt me any. And what I did is, the recipe is 2 cups of packed flowers and then 4 cups of boiling water over the top. So what I did is I actually doubled that. I used one of my gallon glass jars. I put those 4 cups of petals in, well, flowers, it's not really petals. So the 4 cups of flowers into my jar, and I let that steep for 24 hours in the fridge. So I poured the boiling water on, let it cool down to room temperatures, and I just put it in the fridge. After that, I strained out the tea, and I actually did this a couple of days ago. This is a half gallon, and I thought I'd better get it done before it goes bad. It's a really weird brown, which surprises me because the lilac petals were really light purple and a few dark purple. This happened with the which one was it? The dandelion. It kind of was a greenish color, and then when I added lemon juice to it, it changed. So we're going to find out together if that works for this or not. It smells really, really good. I was kind of surprised, and I have to tell you, the dandelion and violet jellies are amazing. In fact, I have to hide the violet because my kids will not leave it alone. Oh, this has like a... You can smell the lilac, but it also has like a vegetable smell to it. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just really good. So what I'm going to do is pour 4 cups into my handy dandy burner, which I'll show you in just a sec here. I put it here because it's really dark over my stove. I don't have a light over it. And you can hear the pressure canner, by the way. I had some beans I had to get going, so I got those in the pressure canner. Then I panicked because I could not find my little metal weights. I looked all over the house, all over. My daughter opened the drawer and, oh, here they are. So I'm grateful for that. But that's the noise you hear in the background. I have a bad habit of pressure canning late at night, so it's not unusual to be up until 1 or 2 in the morning. That's just kind of how I roll. Not really by design, but it's how life is. So anyway, here's my 4 cup mark on here, and I'm just going to pour about half of this into the pan. And like I said, right now it looks kind of murky. I'm really curious to see what adding the lemon juice does. So that's 4 cups of the tea. I'm just making a single batch at a time. I'm using a 4.5 quart pan, so we will hope that this does not boil over. We're going to learn together. My big pan that I normally use for jam has something else in it in the fridge, so I can't use it. I'm going to grab a whisk. I'm actually going to put this down so that you can see a little bit better. There we go. So I'm adding a package of Pectin. There we go. Wibble wobble. A package, I have it in bulk, so it ended up being 6 tablespoons, and I'm just kind of going to stir it in. I don't have the heat on yet. I'm going to stir it in kind of slow. I dumped it in for one of my batches, and it took forever to dissolve the pectin. So there we go. There's my 6 tablespoons of pectin. Even that, I don't know if you can see, but like the color changed. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So this fancy little whiz-bang burner here, this was like $2.50 at my local store. It's super cool. Uh-oh, Magnus wants to come help turn it on, so I have to remind him that that's not okay. So we have our pectin. And I did just turn the heat on. I have it on high, but I'll turn it down a little as it starts to bubble. And I'm actually going to adjust my camera a little bit, so apologies for wiggling you around. Oh, see, it's sunburned. I've been out in the garden digging up big plots and getting hot. But things are coming along, so I'm happy. All right, and then I am going to add, and I'm noticing the color is really changing. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of lemon juice to this. And this really helps enhance the flavor of your jelly. And let's watch, let's see the magic. Wow, that is so cool. It went from like this weird brown to like a beautiful pinkish purple. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to bring this up to a boil, a steady boil, and we're gonna let that boil for 1 minute. So make sure you set a timer. After it boils for a minute, you're going to pour in your sugar and then bring it up to a full boil for another minute and then turn it off. So I have the 4 cups of tea, which consisted of 2 cups of packed flower blossoms and 4 cups of boiling water. And then I added 1 packet of pectin, and I added 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And then the next step when that comes up to a boil is I will add 4 cups of sugar. Yes, this is white sugar. This is not my normal organic sugar that I use. And the reason for that is I really want a pretty jelly. I know it's not the best, and I don't do it very often, but for the sake of this particular jelly, I want it to be beautiful. So, once in a while, it's okay to have some white refined sugar. Very once in a while. I mean, we'll keep in mind this is jelly. Jelly is not something that we eat every day. Well, okay, the kids do sometimes, but we adults don't. It's a treat. And so that's what we're doing. And now I will just, hello Magnus! I will just whisk this once in a while until it comes up to a boil. And then I will work on the next step with you. Now, in the meantime, I'll switch this. So, I have a new garden tool that I am in love with. It is called a broad fork. I'm sure many of you out there are familiar with it. I've seen one for years, always admired them, wanted one so bad, and I finally decided to do it. My neighbor had my tiller to fix, and it was just taking a really long time, and I wanted to get the ground broken, so I ordered this broad fork from Johnny's Seeds. Not sponsored, but hey Johnny's, if you want to, I'm here. Anyway, so it works really well. It has like a whole bunch of tines. It's probably about like this wide. And you step on both sides. It's got this big long bar, and it digs the soil down like 6-8 inches. It's awesome. So I've been doing this. I was out working on getting the potatoes planted today. So overambitious myself, decided to buy a ton of seed potatoes, and now I have to find room for them all. So those things better produce, or I'm gonna be super cranky. But anyway, I'm almost done with that. It's a great workout, and I don't know if you can see, but like I've been getting a lot of sun. So it's interesting. And then I have the kids out in the garden with me, and we've been taking some of our cute little chickens in there to hang out with us. So it's been a lot of fun. Otherwise, we're just, I don't know, it's summer on the homestead. Well, almost summer. It feels like it. It went from like 90s down to the 50s now. So I don't know. Like Iowa apparently just can't make up its mind, but I feel like that's a lot of places anyway. So other than that, we're just kind of trucking along, getting projects done as we can. There's a lot of indoor work I want to get done, but right now the focus on getting outside done, because this is the season. This is when we plant. This is when we get our bounty ready for the year. We're about to process some chickens on Wednesday, and I think I'm going to do a video on that, but I might not use this platform. I don't want to be canceled because you see chickens. I don't know. I'll see what the rules are. If I can't do it here, I have a Rumble account, or I might do Patreon someday. I have no idea. I'm so new to this. But speaking of new, I did just start the process for my blog, so that will be available soon, and that's super exciting as well. Magnus is just so helpful. He's trying to help Mama so much. He's up way past his bedtime. He decided he didn't want to go with Big Sister. You just cute as little thing. What you mean? Oh. My friend Liz gave us some clothes, and this cute little shirt is from her. She's like a master sewer. So hi Liz, this video is for you. So we don't have to worry about jelly anymore. guys, I'm going to let this warm up and I will bring you back in just a minute. All right, we are back. You are going to hear Magnus in the background because he is a very grumpy, tired baby. This has been boiling for 1 minute. Now I'm going to add my 4 cups of sugar. And I'm going to stir it up, and we are going to bring it back up to a rolling boil, which we will hold it at for 1 minute. In the meantime, I have my jars in the boiling water canner, just setting on low heat. Get nice and warm. I had them through the dishwasher, and then I just leave them in the boiling water canner while the water warms up and stays hot. Well, I go ahead and get my jelly going. I already have my lids, bands, funnel, ladle, vinegar, paper towel, all the things that you need to can jam or jelly. In this case, it's jelly. I think I might bring you guys back to do a rhubarb pie filling with me. That could be a lot of fun. And I'm looking at my very handsome husband in the background drinking his tea. He's hanging out with me.
Hi.
He has been making a slow but steady recovery, and we are very grateful for that. Ooh, forgot what she knows. So we're just going to stand here and wait for this to come up to a boil. I am absolutely thrilled with how my little burner works for, I think it was $2.50. It's quite a steal. It looked like somebody may have used it like 2 times during that whole thing. So I could have gone to the kitchen store and spent $150, $200 on a burner like this, or I could just go to our local, I don't even know what to call it, store and get one for $2.50. So I know which one I'm going to do. My kids tease me because they say that I'm a bargain sniffer and I have a nose for a bargain a mile away. And it makes me very, very proud when they sniff out bargains. I have to give them a hard time. I tell you what, guys, the world that we're in right now, being a bargain sniffer is about the only way you're going to survive. So, there's that. Which reminds me, things like this, using up every little bit. This was very common for a lot of our great-grandparents. Some grandparents, but mostly great-grandparents. I know my grandparents had passed away years ago. They were both in their 90s, and they grew up in the Depression. And you used every little bit. You went out and you picked the dandelion greens for your salad. You made all the jams and jellies. You stretched what you had. And it's really, we got away from that. We became soft. We became comfortable. But I'm telling you, now is the time where those things have to come back, because we're entering a time where we aren't going to have the luxury to just get whatever we want. Because even if you have the money for it, you have to have it actually in the store. And with the perfect storm of things that have been happening, well, you may just have to learn to make your own more than you would like to. All right, I'm going to bring you back after this gets done boiling, and we will jar it up. All right, it is off the heat now, and I am going to skim off this little bit of foam. It's kind of built up on it. This kind of is a good cheat too, because then I can see if it's going to set. I'm putting it on a cold plate. You can definitely do this. You don't, just if you want to test your gel. In general, you put it on a cold plate and you see if it'll set up. So it kind of serves as a double purpose. I can see already it's already setting up, so I have absolutely no concerns about that. I have my handy dandy little rooster spoon rest that I use. I love my little rooster, he's so cute. And then you can even see, just now, you can see if you can pull your finger through it, see how it doesn't come together? That's a beautiful gel. So we have had success. And now it's time for the jars. Different people do it different ways. I fill my jars one at a time. I don't know if that's like the recommended, but whatever. If your jelly gets in the jar, that's what really counts. And I'm trying to find a good angle, so I'm going to pause this. Okay, there we go. This way you can see it up a little bit more close and personal there. Woo, look at that. That thing is huge at this angle. So I'm going to fill this up to 1/4 inch headspace. I'll show you roughly what it is. Look at that color. It turned from that weird brown to this gorgeous rosy pink. Something about the chemistry of the lemon juice and pectin changes it. I noticed my violet jelly did not get to be a vivid purple. It's just kind of a rosy like this, but a little bit less. So I always keep my funnel in a bowl to keep it less messy. And then the 1/4 inch mark is right about this top thread of your jar. Then you look at the top for any cracks and nicks. I have my bowl of vinegar with a paper towel here, and you can stir your jelly if you really want to. I have this cute little chopstick. You can stir it just to get any bubbles out. I'm not really worried about it though, but if you want to, feel free. Nobody's judging you. And then I just clean the rim of my jar with vinegar paper towel. Make sure that you get all that jelly off because we want a nice clean seal. I am using lids that I did not heat up. The new recommendations are you do not need to heat the lids. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Today I didn't feel like it. I hold it on with my fingertips so it doesn't move. I put the band on fingertip tight. And look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So into the canner it goes. And I'm just going to keep filling these up. I'm going to do 2 batches. So once I get all these filled up, I'm going to put them in the canner with the heat off, and they will just stay hot until I get that second batch going. And then this will boil for 10 minutes in the boiling water bath. So with the lid on, you bring it up to a full boil, and you adjust it just so it stays at a nice full boil. You don't want to go crazy, but you want a steady boil. And then once that's done, we'll turn off the heat, take the lid off, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we'll get those jars of jelly out, and you can take a look at how they are then. Don't tell anybody I'm not using my funnel. I'm being naughty. Alright, so we will be back in a little bit. These have gone through a 10-minute boiling water bath, and look at that. Aren't those beautiful? So excited to have these with some sourdough toast. I had my diffuser that you kind of see in the background going earlier down below where you couldn't see it, and it has orange and lime essential oils in it. And what I decided to do, because that smell was so good, is I sampled the orange essential oil on that leftover foam that I had, and it turned out to be really good. So the second batch that I did off camera actually has orange essential oil in it. It tastes so very good. So there you have it, guys. We have delicious lilac jelly that came from our bush in our yard. Oh, listen to that beautiful ping. Nothing in the world like that ping. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like what you see, please subscribe and like this video. It helps my channel to grow. I look forward to seeing you next time here at EggFeathers Homestead, where we do a whole lot of living. Take care.